Hey, teacher friend, let's talk about those first precious planning periods of the school year. You know, the ones when the students are still learning your name, your desk is still relatively uncluttered, hopefully, and in theory, you have a wide open block of time to get ahead. Except, in reality, that time can slip right through your fingers. I've lived both versions of the story, the productive kind and the how is the bell already ringing kind. And today, I want to walk you through what I've learned about structuring your planning time from day one so you can set yourself up for success all year long.
Welcome to the Secondary Teacher Podcast, the podcast for middle and high school teachers juggling multiple preps to get the strategies to reduce overwhelm so that you don't have to choose between being an effective teacher and prioritizing important relationships. I'm your host, Kristen Masick, a 10-year high school engineering teacher, former middle school assistant principal, and teacher coach. Every week, we will discuss strategies, systems, and time-saving tips to help you not only survive but thrive as a multiple prep teacher.
If I'm being honest, my early years were a mixed bag. Some years I was scrambling, only ready for the first day's activities, so my prep period on day 2 was a mad dash to find something engaging that could fill the next class period. That's how I ended up reading the syllabus line by line, which was exactly the kind of first week activity I swore I'd never do. But I didn't have anything else prepared, so there I was. Other years, I'd swing too far the other way, feeling caught up after making all the copies for the week, and then I'd just drift. I remember one year in particular, sitting at my desk after finishing all my first day lesson plans, thinking, now what? And instead of getting ahead, I wandered to the office to check my mailbox, chatted with the secretaries, and before I knew it, my prep was over. And then there was the biggest trap of all, opening my email. It started innocently enough, just checking in at the start of my prep period, but 5 minutes later, I'd be knee deep in replying to a parent, reading a new IEP, or chasing down something admin asked for. All important things, sure, but none of them were the priorities I'd set for myself that day. The real shift came when I became a mom. Suddenly, my evenings weren't just mine anymore. I remember one afternoon I was rocking my newborn in one arm while trying to type lesson plans with the other hand, and it hit me. This was not sustainable or the life I wanted. If I wanted time with my kids and enough sleep to survive those middle of the night wake ups, I had to start maximizing every single minute at school. That meant my planning time couldn't be reactive anymore. I couldn't just see what came up. I needed a game plan before I even walked into that empty classroom. Here's the small shift that had the biggest payoff. Before my prep started, I knew exactly what my focus was going to be. If I didn't have that clarity in the first 5 to 10 minutes, I'd slip back into email checking and busy work. That's why I created the Planning Period Reset Toolkit, because having a repeatable process for getting focused saves you from wasting that time, whether it's the first week of school or the middle of October. Inside the toolkit, I walk you through a quick 5-step process to clear distractions. Yes, that means closing the inbox and putting your phone away, setting boundaries with a simple do not disturb sign for your door, and prioritizing tasks that actually support student learning instead of filling time. Refocus after interruptions so you can get back on track without losing half of your planning period, and end with momentum so you know exactly where to pick up next time. The beauty of this is that you can use it anytime. Your regular prep period before school, after school, even during an unexpected pocket of free time. And you might be wondering why this matters from day one. I wish I could tell you I learned this lesson early, but honestly, it took me years. I didn't realize until much later that the way I used my prep time in those first 2 weeks of school was setting habits I'd keep all year. If I started the year in reactive mode answering emails, wandering halls. That became my default. But when I started the year with a clear structure, my brain learned this is how we use this time. And it made all the difference, not just in how much I got done, but in how calm I felt walking into each class. I want to share a little bit of backstory on the whole do not disturb sign. So I first started using a do not disturb sign when I was pumping during the school day and realized that it worked. So I started using a do not disturb sign when I was not pumping so that I could use it during my prep, and imagine that, people didn't disturb me. It felt awkward at first, like I was being rude. But that first week, 2 different colleagues stopped me later in the day and said, I didn't want to bother you. I saw your sign. That was the moment that I realized boundaries aren't just for you. They're a courtesy to everyone else too. You're telling them, hey, I'm in work mode right now. And that saves their time as well as yours. If you've been nodding along thinking, this is me, here's what I want you to do. Grab the Planning Period Reset Toolkit. It's totally free and it gives you the exact process I wish I had during those early years. It takes 5 minutes to run through, and it will help you finish your planning period with something meaningful checked off your list, not just your inbox cleared. The link's in the show notes. Remember, your planning time is for your priorities. Let's protect it from day one. You've got this.